Well, we almost did it. We almost got through the entire week with no major superhero movie or TV show news. And then here comes Marvel and DC with the 1-2 punch today.
Wait, what was DC's thing?
Oh, we'll get to it.
Okay. Because I did see Marvel's thing, but I missed DC's thing.
And I'm not complaining about it, because, let's face it, that's one of my favorite things to keep up with news-wise, but it was interesting to have a week where it looked like we weren't going to have anything and remind me of, oh right, I like movies beyond just this. But that's neither here nor there. Welcome to Under the Bridge, everybody!
Welcome to Under the Bridge.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I am Greg, aka Greg.
And this is our podcast where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes comic news, sometimes gaming news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. So make sure to ring the like button, smash that bell, and share the video around if you're into that sort of thing, because it really does help us out. And we appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate you sharing us with your friends. That was not great word choice.
It's not the word choice that was bad, it's the way you said it. I ain't much care for your cadence.
Both the word choice and the cadence were not great on my part.
Yeah. Let's in compromise, let's say both were bad.
Yes, indeed.
You're familiar with The Sims, I assume?
Vaguely. My sister loves The Sims. The Sims creep me out on a personal level.
I see. You want to watch a movie about them?
Jesus Christ, no.
Well,
no,
you're
I do
getting
not.
one!
Why? How the are you gonna make a Sims movie?
Well...
Oh, it's 2 minutes in, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. The answer to your question is, you're gonna have to ask Margot Robbie's production company Lucky Chap, because they're producing it.
God damn it, of course Margot Robbie's part of it. Now I am interested in it.
Oh, well, it gets better, and also worse in terms of you're gonna be interested in it, because it's also being directed and co-written by Kate Herron, who directed the first season of Loki.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh, yeah.
That's deeply annoying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, the Sims movie might be good.
Yeah, the Sims movie might be good, or at least be much more interesting than it has any right to be.
I mean, when you think about it, you could do some real good existential horror with The Sims.
That's true. That is true. I think that's part of the reason why The Sims creep me out. Really, anything where you are directly playing God creeps me out.
This one's weird. It's been promised that there will be a lot of lore included in the project, which
The Sims has lore?
Yeah, I weren't really aware The Sims had any lore to speak of.
Yeah, hold on, I have to search this now. Does The Sims have lore?
What the heck is a freezer bunny?
Oh my.
Oh, don't tell me there's big comprehensive lore.
I mean, not comprehensive, but there is lore of some variety, which is...
I'm gonna go play in traffic. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, there is apparently a very small amounts of consistent lore, which is both really funny and moderately terrifying, in all honesty.
Also, EA Vice President Kate Gorman said, "I'm sure a pool without a ladder is in there somewhere."
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't finalized any of those details.
Alright.
Also, apparently there's a fan campaign to get the film made in Simlish with subtitles.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, there's no way I'm seeing that movie if it's in the weird-ass Sims language.
I'd rather watch it in Animal Crossing Ease.
I don't think I could even tolerate that, honestly.
I mean, Animal Crossing Ease is just, you turn up the pitch and you have a text reader do it wrong.
So, voice lines by way of ChatGPT.
Oh, God. You know what? That's probably as good a segue as any into our next subject.
Yeah, because I made that joke and then just looked at the list of news. I was like, whoops.
We might have to hate Lionsgate now.
Yay! Lionsgate's being stupid too.
Because they made a deal with video-focused artificial intelligence research firm Runway to have Runway train a new generative AI model on their content.
No, thank you.
Allegedly, the purpose will be to help Lionsgate Studios, its filmmakers, directors, and other creative talent augment their work.
Why is that always the excuse? We all know that augment the work is literally have something else because we're too cheap to have cheap labor. Not trying to justify cheap labor, but that is kind of what we're going for here.
Yeah, I like how it's augment and not we're gonna phase out a bunch of jobs because we're just gonna have an AI spit out concept art.
Yeah.
And trailers.
Oh god, which doesn't work. I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen an AI-made trailer, but it's been consistently said there's a consistent human element that's lost if you just leave it all to AI, but what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, some trailers are cut poorly enough as it is. We don't need AI mucking up the process, making it worse. Think of how bad the average human output is, and then realize that when it comes to creative endeavors, AI is generally worse than that.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to segue into a joke about the Megalopolis trailer that had all the fake quotes in it.
Oh yeah, that one. No,
yes.
That's a good one.
Mm.
Lionsgate Vice Chair Michael Burns said...
Feel the burn.
God.
Sorry.
No, that was good. Runway is a visionary, best-in-class partner who will help us utilize AI to develop cutting-edge, capital-efficient content creation opportunities.
Capitalism efficient.
I need a shower after that
It's
one.
capitalistic efficient product. That was a bad joke.
Several of our filmmakers are already excited about its potential applications to their pre-production and post-production process. A few others decided to hang themselves in their offices, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's not part of the quote. That's different.
But when you said the first part, what popped in my brain was the scene from Anchorman where he just goes, "I don't believe you," and just lights a cigarette.
Yeah, right. Okay, Boomer.
Yeah.
We view AI as a great tool for augmenting, I hate that word now,
Augmenting your reality.
And supplementing our
We
current
are
operations.
Deus Exing the movie industry.
Ugh. So that's gross. I swear to God, if we get a John Wick AI trailer, I'm burning Lionsgate Studios to the ground.
I would hope that there would be a moment where a lot of people would just check out of it, but
Well,
that
that's the
might
thing.
just be me.
Nobody's excited about this. Have you ever noticed that the only people who are really generally excited about AI, and there are exceptions, but in the creative industry, I should specify, are the stupid tech bro bigwigs who are trying to push it in the first place, and the clueless executives who should be fired just because they're generally incompetent at their jobs anyway?
The people who are eager to have it are the people who, if it goes well for them, they directly profit from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only group or types of people I've seen genuinely excited about AI and it mixing into the media and entertainment industry.
Disgusting.
Quite.
Anyways, we've gone on that train enough. Previously. So...
On Soul Train.
Boy.
Howdy now. Anyway.
Yep. This one I just put on the list, not because I'm particularly interested in what James Cameron does, but I thought you might find it interesting.
Oh boy.
Once he's done with the Avatar sequels in 2035...
Jesus.
It's gonna be before then, I think, but, you know. James Cameron has purchased the rights to the, I guess not published yet. Oh no, it's coming out in August 2025. But it's called Ghosts of Hiroshima.
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
And apparently, the film is going to follow, at least in part, Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the only person to survive both atomic bombs dropped on Japan.
Oh, yeah, that poor bastard. Oh my god, I remember reading about him years ago. And just, man, you won the bad luck lottery. Well, some would argue you won the good luck lottery as well, but how much does it have to suck to not have to deal with one, but both of the atomic bombs, but at the same time, you survived them both?
It really is astoundingly good, crappy fortune.
Yeah.
Like, you were at both of those, but you lived.
Yeah, that is nuts. I got Yamaguchi mixed up with another person whose name I'm blanking on, but they were a anime and manga artist, but they also survived the bombing of Nagasaki, I think it was. And they made a movie, well, their work was turned into an anime movie that depicted the bombing of Nagasaki as it happened. And let me tell you, the way this is all drawn and animated is some of the most nightmare-fuel shit I have ever seen in my life.
Alright.
I'm not going to post the whole video to our chat or anything like that because it's like a 5-minute video, but it's introed with the Enola Gay flying over Nagasaki. The bomb drops, and there's just a giant fireball. We see people literally being turned to ash as they stand. It's very well detailed, and very, very, very creepy to look at.
Neat. I'm gonna need the name of that.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna try and find it real quick. Barefoot Gen.
Okay, I'll have to check that out at some point.
If you search a Barefoot Gen atomic bomb scene, you will find it with no issue whatsoever.
Alright. Yeah, no, I'm interested in this because Cameron is at least a very accomplished filmmaker. He's a very competent filmmaker. So I have little doubt this will be done justice. Hopefully.
Right. I mean, by default, because of what it is and all that, I am interested in it. For better or for worse, I am a sucker for history, World War II history in particular. Definitely things that involve the atomic bomb, because, like I'm pretty confident I said when we talked about... Oh, fuck me.
-1?
No, not in front of this crowd.
What?
When we talked about Oppenheimer.
Okay.
How I mentioned how the use of the atomic bomb literally changed the world order as we know it. So, yeah, by default, always interested in things involving the atomic bombs.
Right. And then the last bit of news before trailer time, we went through that quicker than I expected, but to be fair...
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah. The DC news.
Oh boy.
Apparently, DC has cast its Hal Jordan for their upcoming Lantern series, and it's gonna be Kyle Chandler. What?
I thought you were getting ready to say, it's gonna be Kyle Shitler. Because it sounded like you said shit before correcting yourself.
No, I mixed up how to pronounce Chandler in my head.
Fair enough. Okay, I know he absolutely looks familiar. And
He's
I know
the dad in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay, gotcha. Alright, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that. Alright.
I mean, he's pretty good in that.
Yeah, no, he's great in that.
He's no Vera Farmiga, but I mean, who is?
Right.
It's also interesting because apparently previously Josh Brolin was in talks for Hal Jordan, but declined.
Okay.
Kyle Chandler himself is 59 years old, which...
Is he really?
I'm not sure how I feel.
He doesn't look like it.
No, he doesn't, but I'm not sure how I feel about the two confirmed, seemingly, because other sites are saying he's still in talks, but the Hollywood Reporter is reporting it as if it's a done deal, so I'm gonna roll with it's probably a done deal. But you know what they say, it's not a done deal till all the deals are done, so I guess we'll see. But...
Right.
I don't know how I feel about the two confirmed Lantern castings we've got, both being significantly older. Because Nathan Fillion is playing Guy Gardner, and at this point Nathan Fillion is, 53.
Okay, so not as bad.
No, but that's still, for a long-running franchise, and admittedly, there's tons of Green Lanterns. Arguably, there's too damn many Green Lanterns.
Right.
But that does leave me wondering what they're gonna do with the franchise, and I don't know, I kinda thought part of the appeal of having a bunch of Green Lanterns is that you can kinda plug and play whoever best works in a story into that story. So, I don't know, I have some misgivings.
So... What's funny is that I was doing a quick look up on Nathan Fillion, and amongst that, learned that he had a role in the MODOK animated series.
Oh, huh. Yeah, I never bothered to watch that.
I didn't even know that existed until literally just now.
No, it was part of a thing Marvel had going with Hulu, where they were gonna do a build up to a quote unquote Revengers series. Hitmonkey was supposed to be part of it. MODOK was part of it. They were going to make a Howard the Duck series, and then I think Tigra and Dazzler were going to get a series together.
Okay.
It never went anywhere. For the better, I think.
Apparently Nathan Fillion played Wonder Man.
Oh, that's actually really funny!
Is it? I don't know. I don't know much about Wonder Man.
The funny thing is, James Gunn cast Nathan Fillion as Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, back when he was going to make a cameo as an Earthbound actor, functionally, because that was Simon's career, I think, before he got superpowers. He was a Hollywood actor.
Oh, okay.
And then those got cut. So that's actually a really funny casting gag.
Right.
That's pretty good. But no, now Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is going to be Wonder Man in that upcoming Disney Plus series where the crewman died, and Disney's expected to try to weasel out of paying the fine for him dying.
Right. I forgot about that, honestly. And I imagine Disney's like, we were hoping everyone else would, too.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna let them. No one forgets on my watch.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm a little anxious about what this means for Hal and Guy long term, but honestly, they're probably not my favorite Green Lanterns anyway, so if they get written out relatively quick, Yeah, that's kind of a bummer, but I don't think it's the biggest loss in the world. I mean, I was more of a Jon Stewart fan, mostly because I like the Justice League Unlimited cartoon.
Fair.
And also, Jessica Cruz has emerged as a very interesting, really cool Lantern concept in recent years, so I like her too.
Okay.
If they cast Jessica Cruz, I will not be upset. Or Simon Baz. It's the one Green Lantern who carries around a gun.
You know what? There were times where I looked at the Green Lanterns like, none of you guys have a gun?
Yeah, no, he kept it on him even after becoming a Green Lantern for in case the power battery runs out.
You know what? That's smart.
Yeah. No, just imagine fighting a bank robber and your lantern ring is out of power and he goes, oh, what are you gonna do? And they just shoot him in the knee.
Ow, my fucking knee! Obligatory reference to the copy pasta of Harry Potter should have had it in 1911. Sorry, just completely off topic from that too. Did I ever show you the video of someone edited Harry Potter characters to just like have guns and instead of casting spells they shot people?
That's pretty funny. May J.K. Rowling never get all the sand out of her shoes.
Yeah, there was one particular bit, I want to say it's in the second movie, where Hermione casts a spell on Neville to, like, make him just stiff and paralyzed.
Oh, no, that's the first movie.
Oh, that is the first movie? It's just like, I'm sorry, Neville, but instead of her casting the spell, it looks like she just shot him in the head.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But no, may J.K. Rowling's first choice of parking spot always be taken on second glance, forcing her to circle back around the entire parking lot to find a new space.
That is a special kind of hell.
May every single movie get spoiled for her while she's in line to purchase tickets.
Right.
May she never receive a phone call the first time and always have to call somebody back.
These are just petty, inconvenient hellscapes that you're wishing on her.
You know what? You're right. She can rot in fucking hell. I don't know why I was trying to be civil about it. Fuck that. Let's go to trailer time.
Let's go to trailer time.
It's trailer time again. We've got movie previews to watch. It's trailer time again. So, you brought to our attention, Netflix has released a trailer for their Devil May Cry anime.
Yes, indeed. And starring as the voice actor of Dante is Nero from Devil May Cry 5.
Haha, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's not a joke. That is actually the voice actor whose name I really should look up real fast.
I assume you're doing it.
Yeah, I am doing it right now. Johnny Young Bosch.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah,
I can't remember where I place it, but...
He plays Adachi in Persona 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he's Vash from Trigun? Really?
Oh,
okay.
That's probably where I recognize the name.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, he played Lelouch in Code Geass as well. Okay.
Oh, and Sabo in One Piece. I hate that guy.
So immediately go back to like, alright, fuck this.
Not because of the acting, I just don't care for the character.
Which is fair and valid.
Oh, it's Sasori in Shippuden.
Yeah.
Alright, neat.
I don't know, I'm interested in this by default, because I do like Devil May Cry. This is set, I want to say, before DMC3, which means that this is going to canonically be when we see, I assume, Dante both not just at his youngest objectively, but subjectively at his most asshole-ish as well.
I like the gun in the pizza box, and I almost called it the pizza in the gun box.
That was... I mean, there's probably a pizza gun out there somewhere.
Imagine carrying, like, a sniper rifle case, you set it down, you open it up, there's a slice of pizza.
That just sounds convenient.
It's convenient for one slice of pizza, an entire fucking sniper rifle case?
I mean, hey man, if you gotta be there looking down a point for hours and hours on end, you're gonna need some kind of food.
First of all, you get cheese everywhere.
Small issues.
That's not a small issue. Half the reason to eat pizza is the cheese.
Well, that's why, like in John Wick, you make sure that the rifle has textured parts on it so that you can deal with it and your hands get ... wet.
Ugh. I don't like how you said that. I don't like what you said or how you said it.
Don't blame me. Blame the gun guy in John Wick, too. It's like textured foregrips, so should your hands get wet.
I'm still gonna blame you. No, this looks alright. I am not the world's biggest Devil May Cry fan to the point where I don't know who Nero is, so...
Yeah, no, it's fair. I'm interested in it. I like Devil May Cry a lot. I'm not like a hardcore diehard fan, but I like DMC a lot. this might be controversial to some, but I don't really like DMC-free Dante. Now, granted, I never finished Devil May Cry 3 because Devil May Cry 3 is a very hard game. And I did get to a point where I was just like, yeah, I think I'm good. But even to that point, I'm just like, alright, Dante, you're just kind of dickish and annoying. Which makes sense, because I think at that point in the game, he's like 16. So, being dickish and annoying, I think, is the mantra of most 16-year-old males.
Oh. So he's on the edge of 17, just like the white-winged dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Baby. Baby.
Yes.
I don't know
yes,
where
indeed.
the hell that came from.
I should know what that is, but
it's
I do not.
Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks.
Cool.
What the? Okay.
This is a depraved episode.
It's getting ridiculous. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
We got a trailer for Overlord the Sacred Kingdom, which, I'll be honest, I forgot / didn't realize Overlord was even getting a movie.
Is there going to be another season of the show?
I have no idea.
Okay, because when I saw that, I was just like, okay, if this is anime Overlord, this is definitely something up Cody's alley. Because you like Overlord quite a bit. And I do too.
I am a big fan of Overlord.
Yeah.
Why did I say it like that?
I don't know. That's why I was just like, alright.
I mean, there's leaks saying that allegedly it's been greenlit for season 5, but nothing official.
Good. I don't know. I think it looks cool. I'm interested in it. I'm very eager to see Ainz push everyone's shit in as per normal, because it's usually a thing of Ainz gets big, Ainz does shit, Ainz has a kingdom. There's some fuckwad somewhere who's like, he's not that bad, I can kill him, and it's just a thing of, how many times do I have to teach the world this lesson?
Genuinely, one of my favorite bits is probably Overlord Season 4 spoilers, I guess, but I think it's also been a couple of years, so who fucking cares? Mm-hmm. There's a bit where Ainz is at war with this kingdom, and not the acting king, but the prince who's commanding the army at this point sits down to have a talk with him and tries to convince him to call it off, and Ainz is basically like, yeah, no, sorry, I can't do that. But it's a very civil, humane discussion, and they seem to reach an understanding, and they actually seem to like each other a little bit. And then the nobles betray the prince, thinking that they can get themselves spared if they kill him. So then they cut his head off, and they bring it to Ainz, and Ainz doesn't really react, but you can feel the utter disgust. You can feel how livid he is, just I like that guy. And he doesn't let on, he's just like, oh no, that's fine, we'll get you all set up. And he basically just goes, take him to the torture chamber. They're none the wiser. They're none the wiser about any of it, but he basically is just like, yeah, fuck them all up, I don't give a fuck anymore.
I think the thing in regards to Overlord that still lives rent-free in my head quite a bit is, it's a really small moment in the overall show. I want to say it's season 3, where he fights like a group of adventurers that all specialize in mostly melee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, you know what? We're gonna do this on my terms. So he throws down his shield and his sword and all that. And the girl who has detection magic is like, this is crazy. I don't know why he's doing this. He doesn't have any magical ability whatsoever. And he goes, oh, you know what? I have this little trinket on me. Let me take this off real quick. And then she does it again, and he's so overpowered that it compels her to puke Lucky Charms. Literal rainbow vomit. It's just like, what happened? It's like, get the hell out of here!
Okay, I don't want to keep gushing about the show, but I'm gonna do one more. I like that scene because the leader of the party, or at least one of the members of the party, tries to bluff their way into saying that another friend of Ainz has told them to go look for him. But because he gives it away when he says, tell Ainz I said hey, and he's like, oh, they said Ainz, huh? Because his real name is Momonga, at least in game, but nobody in the world knows that, so he knows it's a bluff. And he starts going in an absolute fucking rage about how they disgraced his friend's name with their filthy mouth, and he's raging at the whole thing, and then his emotion suppression kicks in, immediately calms down. Well, those are my feelings. It's just perfect.
Quite. I genuinely felt bad for that girl. I felt bad for that girl in particular, because I always feel bad for the one person who's like, no, fuck this, we need to go, when everyone else is like, nah, we got this. It's like, alright, the sucky part here is that you're going to die, but you at least tried.
You did make the attempt.
You recognized how fucked you were, and you tried to get out of it, and forces outside of your control did not let you. That sucks.
So I guess this has an official release in November 8th.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's soon.
Yeah, no, very excited. Can't wait for this.
Oh, yeah.
The Sorcerer King is dead. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. He's already dead, you stupid morons.
Right.
So we also got a trailer for Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot that I had seen the trailer for this a few days ago, so when I saw the title, I was just like, is this a Disney movie?
Really?
It's like, no, this is not a Disney movie. I did laugh quite a bit at the opening bit where he gets his hand chopped off and you just hear a couple guys, oh my goodness, did you see that? It's like they're calling like a sports event or something like that.
By God, he's missing a hand!
By God, he lost the hand! But yeah, no, I am interested in this, but man, is that a raw deal.
Yeah, that's why you need to sign any agreement before you click on it. I say, scrolling through this terms and conditions document and not reading any of it.
Right.
Oh, I just sold my soul to Satan.
Or at least just like read it. It's just like, you're gonna be an expendable. Yeah, it's like, no, not that kind of expendable.
Not the Arnold Schwarzenegger kind.
The
feudalistic serf kind.
Right.
But no, I think this is a really interesting concept with, oh yeah, we could clone you after you die, but oops, you lived, and now there's still a new one of you running around.
So what happens now?
Well, apparently they both are supposed to die, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I can see this being a somewhat, well, it's obviously like a sci-fi comedy movie, but I can see this being a good kind of suspense or thriller elements in this too, so that could be fun.
Oh, I have little doubt there's going to be a lot of existential angst in this. Maybe not angst, existential
edge.
Nonsense.
Right.
Existential nonsense.
Apparently this has a budget of $150 million.
Good God.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I want to see this, but I have a hard time seeing this movie make that money back based on what we've seen so far,
yeah.
If I'm honest.
I mean, to be fair though, the man did make Parasite, which I still haven't seen, even though I have it on disc, but I'm told it's fabulous, and I keep meaning to watch it at some point.
Right.
At some point. Plus, this has Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo in it, and I mean...
Yeah.
Last thing I saw Mark Ruffalo in was Poor Things, and that was delightful.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Ruffalo's a good actor.
He's a cad and a rake. Cad and a rake and an absolute fucking moron.
Right.
Then we also got a trailer for Dogman.
This is another raw deal.
Yeah, no.
This is a really raw deal, and it's really fucked up. I know it's a kid's movie and all, but I just had to go. It's really fucked up how eager these doctors were about this. It's like, because, okay, premise. Dog, human police officer go to defuse the bomb. It doesn't go well. Bomb blows up. By all looks, they both survive, just horribly injured, but still survive. And then one of the doctors goes, what if we sew the dog's head on the man's body? I'm like, I am terribly sorry. You want to run that by me? And then they goes like, let's do it. It's like, what? This is a shit deal, but it seems like an entertaining one.
Yeah, I feel like this might be a hard one to get butts in seats for, because yeah, it's a comedy and some parts of it are really funny, but that overall premise is horrifying, really.
The overall premise is a little rough.
Shh, damn you. How fucking dare.
This is what I'm here for.
How could you do such a thing? But no, I like the bit where the chief is trying to crumple up the paper and throw it away, but Dogman just keeps running back and getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bit of trying to get him to watch the monitors going, if somebody happens to have an eastern gray squirrel, you watch the monitors!
It's just... And, of course, just learned, looking it up, that the cat, Petey, is played by Pete Davidson.
Fantastic.
I'm just Pete. I play a dickhead cat rolling down the streets. That was horrible.
That wasn't your best work.
It's not my best, that's for sure. That's why I said earlier, I'm not cut out for singing.
Now, I'll also fully admit, the main reason why I am interested in this, like, yeah, it looks funny, but mostly just because I was very pleasantly surprised by Captain Underpants, the first Epic movie, which I expected was going to be terrible and instead was actually pretty good.
Right.
So, in this case, yeah, you know what? I'll give this a shot.
Right.
Hell, you know what? This comes out at the end of January. Ooh, maybe, what if Captain Underpants for Cinema Synergy?
You know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
I never read the books as a kid.
Oh wow, you missed out.
Yeah, I don't. So it's weird because of all things for kid me to have this reaction to, every time I looked at Captain Underpants, I just went, "That looks stupid."
Well, of course it's stupid.
My favorite cartoon as a kid was Ed, Edd and Eddy.
What the heck, man?
Yeah, I don't get it either. Looking back on it.
And then finally, we got the first trailer for Thunderbolts with an asterisk.
Yes. I completely forgot / missed that Bucky was going to be in this.
Really?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's right, you are part of this, aren't you?
I feel like we're missing the most important, biggest plot-driving question, though. Why does Yelena have a guinea pig in that one scene?
I mean, guinea pigs are cute, dog.
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't bring one to blow up a building, and yet she does.
Is it her explosive support guinea pig?
Good God, I hope not.
Well, ideally the guinea pig lives.
Because you saw it, right? When the building explodes and she starts turning away from it, she's holding a guinea pig.
Yeah.
I have to know. I cannot.
That's different.
But no, you know what? I will say, as skeptical as I've been of the Thunderbolts concept, and I am still kind of skeptical on it, this has turned me around a little bit. This looks like an interesting time.
So, I mean, there's a few characters here I'm not, deeply familiar with, but the one guy who can, phase through people, who is he and what's his deal?
That's Ghost. She was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh! I forgot about you!
Yeah, you may have also not recognized her because her costume is garbage in this one.
It was a very odd-looking costume,
Why the fuck did they give both her and Taskmaster all black outfits with white helmet / face coverings?
Yeah.
She's called Ghost! Why isn't she wearing white?
Right.
Like she was last time!
I mean, man, I completely forgot that character existed.
Yeah, so did the writers. Because Ant-Man was too busy setting up Kang, don't you know?
Let's set up Kang. Aw, dang it!
Kang is here! Kang is dead! Oh, man. That's gonna... God, I'm not gonna get back on the train, but abandoning Kang was a stupid fucking idea after all that setup. You just tanked the Ant-Man franchise and ran, huh? Thanks a lot, guys.
We love it.
It's not even that Quantumania is a terrible movie, it's just a definite downgrade from the other Ant-Man. That's neither here nor there. Thunderbolts. The action looks good. As always, it's a pleasure to see Yelena.
Oh yeah, quite.
I'm even pretty happy to see Alexei again.
Yeah, when the whole thing is, oh shit, it's Yelena. And I've never done it. I have absolutely never done this, nor would I ever want to. But the bit where he takes the faucet and uses that to spray in his mouth to brush his teeth, I'm just like, why does that feel strangely relatable?
Brushing his teeth with dishwashing liquid.
Yeah.
Because he apparently doesn't have toothpaste.
Yeah, that whole bit was absolutely awful, but it's strangely relatable in a sense.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, not having your life together, but desperately trying to present it as such.
Right.
So that's interesting. The action looks decent. Part of why I was skeptical on this premise was it felt like there wasn't a lot of variance in skill sets, and I'm still not convinced that's the case, but it's not as bad as I was expecting. It's not as homogenous in terms of who can do what.
Right.
If nothing else, having Ghost helps by a mile, but it'd still be, nice to have some other people with different superpowers.
With a better costume.
And a better costume. That's unforgivable. That costume is unfucking-givable, frankly.
Right.
What a fucking sin. Crime against God and nature. Also, Bucky washes his vibranium arm in the dishwasher, apparently.
Is that good for the vibranium?
What's water gonna do to it?
I'm not concerned about the water, I'd be more concerned about the dishwashing fluid. What? I don't know.
You know Black Panther's suits are made of vibranium, right?
Oh, I know, I'm very aware of that, but there's a part of my brain that goes, wouldn't it be the damnedest thing if the weakness for this all-powerful material that is one of the most coveted items in this fictional universe, it's my greatest weakness, Dawn.
Captain America's greatest weakness, make him chase you through a car wash, his shield will dissolve.
Right.
Oh, man.
Now that sounds funny. It's Bucky's just shooting into a car wash. It's just shit. There's detergent everywhere. God damn it.
You said it was bulletproof. Bulletproof-ish. Alexei, you damn liar.
Right.
Yeah, no, I am now more interested in this than I was.
Yeah, I mean, I am now actually interested in this, so I guess that's an improvement on my part, too.
I mean, I was gonna go watch it anyway because Florence Pugh's in it, so...
Right,
I'm weak.
That's fair.
Sue me. Also, to see John Walker again, who apparently is busy neglecting his kid.
What?
You didn't see the baby standing up in the crib crying while he's just looking at his phone?
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
Right.
That's an overgeneralization. I know parenting is hard. I know you can't attend to every single emergency situation or a perceived emergency situation on the part of a child. But why do I feel the need to disclaimer here? Point is, John Walker's an asshole specifically.
I was to say, I'm pretty sure from the bits and pieces I've read, it's pretty well established that U.S. Agent in general is an asshole.
Yeah, no, nothing new for him.
Yeah.
Good to see him back, though.
Mm-hmm.
Box office?
Box office.
Alright. So, we did see the highest grossing movie domestically this weekend. It's still Beetlejuice.
Right.
It was close, though. It was very close.
Okay.
Based on what I'm seeing, Beetlejuice took in $25.9 million domestically this weekend for a $226.78 million domestic total and $331.18 million worldwide. Again, $100 million budget, so good job there. Nice work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Transformers 1, the movie that we saw, took second place.
Okay.
At $24.6 million.
Ooh.
Yeah, so narrowly avoided the number one spot by less than $1.5 million.
Yeah. Huh.
And it's currently sitting at $38.6 million worldwide, which is not great.
Yeah.
But its budget is only $75 million.
Mm.
And I don't think it's released everywhere yet, so if it expands in some markets and does well enough there, or keeps sustained momentum, it could still turn a profit.
Alright, fair enough.
Which I hope it does, because I'm gonna have a lot of qualifiers in this. This is the unironically best movie about the Transformers. It is not necessarily the best movie representing the classic Transformers experience. That would be Bumblebee.
Right.
But I think this is arguably a better movie, partly because it breaks away from humans and robots team up in the Autobot-Decepticon war for various powerful MacGuffins. And instead, it just chooses to focus on the backstory of the Autobot-Decepticon split and the breaking down of the friendship between Orion Pax, the future Optimus Prime, and D-16, the future Megatron.
Before leading into the Transformers and humans fighting over all-powerful MacGuffins.
Yeah, probably. For now, though, this was good.
This was good. This was genuinely very good. This was a good time.
I'm very impressed. This is another one of those Paramount really botched the marketing here. Because there's some really interesting themes, there's some plot elements that are actually darker than I was expecting. It's still funny, don't get me wrong. In fact, it's actually funnier than the trailers make it out to be, and a lot of it comes down to the timing, the animation. The delivery is important, but a lot of the humor is in the way things are framed and set up.
Yeah, the comedic timing in this movie pays off in dividends almost every time.
Which is outstanding. And also, you know what? It's also very well acted. And major props especially to Chris Hemsworth, who I wasn't sold on the idea of him as Optimus Prime, but he really steps into the role.
Yeah, especially he's already good from the word go in it, but especially as the movie goes on and as events transpire, he really, really leans into the voice of Optimus, and it just gets better and better as the movie continues going through.
Yeah. So the premise, such as it is that the Transformers all live on Cybertron, which is the physical form of their god Primus, functionally.
Right.
But Primus sacrificed his life, sentience, whatever, now he's just a planet. And the 13 Primes, who are all functionally kind of sort of, I guess you could call them Primus' disciples, they all died, and the Matrix of Leadership was lost, and since then, Energon hasn't flowed freely on Cybertron, which is the substance that Transformers need to function. Most of them can't even transform, it seems, but the focus is on two miners, as in they work in the Energon mines, not that...
Yes.
not that they are unadult Transformers.
Yeah, there are no humans in this. Just want to emphasize that.
I mean, there could be kid Transformers, I assume.
Yeah, but not human kids in this.
Transformers can still be minors.
Fair enough.
Hopefully not minors, though, because that violates some child labor laws, which I'm not sure that...
As I say, does Primus believe in child labor? These are the important questions.
Yeah, now I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are Orion Pax and D-16, the future Optimus Prime and future Megatron. Spoiler alert, I guess. But...
Right.
Orion Pax has some zany schemes. D16 reluctantly goes along with it.
Right.
And they get embroiled in this big quest to locate the Matrix of Leadership, return Energon to Cybertron, unearth a big conspiracy about the history of the Primes and the current state of Cybertron. Friendships are fractured, alliances are forged, crews are launched.
Shadows are forward.
What?
Foreshadowing.
Oh, I see.
I mean, to be honest, it's one of those things where it's like, if you have an inkling about Transformers, and hell, if you just watch the trailer, the foreshadowing is laid on kind of thick, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure one of the trailers even says before he was Megatron, he was D16, which...
Yeah, so it's a thing of, like, if you're, like, going, it's like, oh, how could you? It's like, alright, y'all just ain't paying attention.
I will say, I feel like, if I have any complaints about this...
Mm-hmm.
Well, one is that not every joke lands, but I mean, realistically speaking, not every joke was gonna land. But...
Oh, of course not.
I think there's an argument to be made that D16's character arc is resolved a little too quickly.
Is it really resolved, though?
No, I mean, in the sense of brought to completion. I feel like he goes from where he starts to where he ends up a little quicker than might be reasonable, but on the flip side... It's more just an academic, yeah, maybe it would be nice to have a little bit more transition of an in-between state, but I do understand why he ends up at the spot that he does.
Right.
It's more, it could just use a little bit more.
Like, a little bit more time on the clock?
A little bit more focus, a little bit more in-between. It feels like maybe he goes a little 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, but, again, to be fair, the circumstances are pretty extreme.
You could say he goes in 60 seconds.
Yes, you could, but I won't. I'm not super big up on Transformers lore, so to an extent, unless characters are named, I don't necessarily know who's who.
Yeah, same, honestly.
I thought maybe I saw a knockout in the stands during the Iacon 5000 race, 500, whatever it's called, and I bounced up into my seat a little bit, but I don't think it was him, now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Knockout's probably my favorite part of Transformers Prime. That's not important.
Honestly, you are much more familiar with Transformers as a whole than I am. I remember watching the shows, some bits and pieces of the shows as a kid, and obviously I've seen some, but not all of the movies. But my knowledge of Transformers lore is not the greatest. I try to go on the Transformers wiki to learn more about the lore, but I end up getting distracted by the very funny commentary and the captions.
It doesn't help that there's 50,000 continuities, so when you're trying to figure out about one character's deal, you have to figure out which iteration you're talking about, and does this count, does that count? Wait, then who's this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of Transformers are just recolors of each other.
Now, to that extent as well, if you want to find an alternate version of the TV tropes, the Transformers Wiki is your place to go, because they cover all of those different storylines in decent detail with a lot of humor, and it's a thing of, there are so many rabbit holes.
It's also a very pretty movie.
Artistically, it's very well done. It's very colorful, and a lot of the, I don't know, set pieces is the right thing to use for a 3D animated movie, but a lot of the set pieces for, like, background and whatnot are very well done as well.
Yeah. There's some very beautiful scenery in this.
Yeah, the scenery is good. I think a thing for this movie that really did it for me, I guess there's a couple more specific examples that I'll give when we do our spoiler section, but the thing I really enjoyed is how the movie does a really good job of giving, like, serious scenes the gravity that they deserve. In particular, like, scenes that are supposed to be really tense or have some suspense going through them. They do things like, there's no music, there's no unnecessary, like, audio in the background. In a couple of the scenes that I think of, they actually boost up the actors' voices quite a bit to really have it be that what they're saying commands the room and you can feel the emotion behind what's being said. And it was something that I wasn't expecting in a movie that is very arguably marketed towards small children, because usually I feel like for movies that are marketed towards kids, the movie makers don't really put as much effort into having scenes like that with genuine gravity to them. So that was something that I noticed I enjoyed quite a bit. I was like, alright, they're taking the stakes of what's happening on screen right now very seriously.
Yeah, you know what? This gets pretty fucking violent.
It's a very violent movie. Like, not bad violent. You know, there's no, like, blood or anything like that, of course,
yeah.
But...
Can you imagine if you ripped open a Transformer and blood came out?
Yeah!
That'd raise a lot of fucking questions.
But there are moments that are very violent, and it's very clear that it's a thing of, we can make this super duper violent, and it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, these are animated robots. So like, it doesn't really mean anything. A couple of them, in a certain way, certain parts of it made me think, this is basically a kid's version of some of the visual metaphor used in, like, the Armored Core series, particularly, like, the reveal trailer for Armored Core 6. Because in AC6, one of the total caveat, connected in some way because mecha, but in the Armored Core 6 reveal trailer, one of the ACs is shown to have a weapon that is literally just a giant pneumatic spear that when it gets activated, it just shoves itself into the body of an enemy mech. And as the attacker is, like, retracting the spear, you see just oil just, like, pouring off of the tip of the spear. Very clearly supposed to be a stand-in for blood. And a particular moment towards the end of the movie just made me think of that. It's just like, this is really violent. This is, like, objectively extremely violent. But it's very clear that they're like, it's an animated kids movie, these are fictional characters, who cares?
Thinking about it, I feel like if there's any weak link in the voice acting, it's probably Steve Buscemi.
You think so?
I don't know, his Starscream just doesn't click for me.
I mean, if I'm honest, Starscream's voice has never clicked for me. I always thought that Starscream had by far and away the most annoying voice of any Transformer.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty annoying in the 86 movie, but I think in Armada he's pretty good. Steve Blum does a great job in Transformers Prime. But here, I don't know, I just get Steve Buscemi.
Fair.
Even when his voice is glitching out, because of reasons.
Right.
And also, the end of this movie fucking hurts.
Yeah, it does. And it's very well done in that aspect, too.
I was not expecting to feel really any genuine emotion during the end of a Transformers movie, and yet, here we are.
Here we are. And by default, that makes this better than most of the Michael Bay movies?
All of the Michael Bay movies.
Right.
I think arguably Bumblebee. But again,
Bumblebee
has the upside of, that is a solid movie that feels more in line with the Transformers franchise. But on the flip side, we've now had, 7, 8 movies of the regular Transformers experience, more or less? So, moving in different directions isn't a bad thing. And I do think Transformers 1 is possibly a better movie overall, but I'd have to watch Bumblebee again to really render a judgment there, because I haven't seen Bumblebee in a minute. And also, it must be noted, Bumblebee has one of the greatest lines of any Transformers movie, which is John Cena going, "They're called Decepticons. That doesn't raise any red flags?"
Yeah.
Calling it like it is.
Exactly.
Trying to think of what else.
I don't have anything else. I was actually going to ask if you just wanted to move over to spoiler territory.
No, I think there's something else, because I mean, you know what? Bumblebee didn't annoy me as much as I was expecting.
No, you know what? I will give you that. He was not nearly as annoying. If anything, a lot of the comedy around him was pretty solid, including, honestly, the best joke in the movie for me personally.
You're right, yep.
Which I got a little bit annoyed at, because when that happened, I kind of, like, took a quick pause, and it felt like we were the only people who laughed at it. I'm just like, oh, come on, guys, that was funny.
Fuck
and
you,
know
that's
it.
a good one.
Yeah.
You know what? You know why I think Bumblebee works? I think Bumblebee works partly because he's about as annoying to the rest of the characters as he is to the audience.
Yeah. He's not played up too hard in terms of being a nuisance.
But at the same time, the other characters' reactions to him aren't extreme, which helps temper our reaction.
Right.
I feel like if there was a point where D16 or Alita 1 snapped at him and went, "Will you just shut up?" Like, only a couple of characters get really upset with him, and they're characters who we're not really supposed to sympathize with, which I think is a pretty clever trick that actually kind of works to help temper how irritating he is and help him retain sympathy.
Right.
But no, like I said, other than Steve Buscemi, I think everybody does a pretty good job here. Scarlett Johansson is a good Alita 1. Brian Tyree Henry brings a lot of humanity, ironically, to Megatron.
Yeah. He does a very good job of making Megatron actually sympathetic.
John Hamm, standout performance as Sentinel Prime, who I'm not going to say anything about.
Right.
And you've got Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion, who, yeah, he is one of the people I'd get for that.
Oh, yeah.
And again, of course, Chris Hemsworth really did a good job dispelling my skepticism, because He starts off good, and as the movie continues and things get heavier, he gets even better as the character.
Yes.
And that, I think, probably wraps up the non-spoiler section.
Yeah, I would say so.
All in all, this is definitely worth a watch. Go see it if you haven't, especially because this deserves to do better than it is.
Yeah, no, this was a very good movie, and I feel like it's definitely approachable if you're not someone who's really deep into Transformers. It is quite genuinely, unironically, fun for the whole family.
Yeah, you know what? Because you're not balancing a bunch of screen time with human characters, it doesn't feel like it's as dependent on having a Transformers fan sitting next to you, pointing things out, going, oh, that's that character.
Yeah.
Because they actually established the characters who are important.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's definitely a feather in its cap. I don't mean to doomsay, but if you want Transformers movies that are good and not a return to Bayformers, maybe check this one out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Just a little bit.
But if you don't want to get spoiled on Transformers 1, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1. I'm surprised. I feel like the first point the movie sold me was when Orion Pax is busted into the archives and he's getting confronted by those guys saying, oh, I could transform, and I'll show you. And he starts compacting and contorting himself a little bit like he's gonna transform, and then it just cuts to him already in the middle of running away, not transformed. And the timing on it is so perfect. It's just...
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lesser joke would be something like, he'd start transforming, then it would cut to him going, hey, what's that? And then he'd run away, but no, he's already in the middle of running when the cut happens. So...
Yes.
it gives the whole thing an air of extra expediency that really makes it funny.
Mm-hmm. No, that was very good. It's like the whole, like, old Saturday morning cartoon style of how the cut's done, because all the transform, and it really is a thing. When it cuts to him running away, he is halfway down the hallway with just a silent pause between two. It's just like, alright, that's good. That's a good payoff to that joke.
The fact that he doesn't say anything else and he just abandoned the concept altogether really does help.
Mm-hmm.
I love the really gross organic Quintesson designs.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know anything about the Quintessons, but their overall character design was definitely something.
What I do know is they're kind of just assholes on the whole.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the ones sentencing people to the shark pit in Transformers 86.
Oh, like what, the turning laughing head thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, the only ones I'm familiar with are, I know Alpha Q was kind of a bad dude in Transformers Energon, but mostly because Unicron destroyed his planet and he was bitter about it. And I think the one who brainwashed Optimus Prime in The Last Night was a Quintesson.
Okay.
Her name was Quintessa, so I'm pretty sure it was Quintesson, but I don't know. It's Bayformers, and that's over now. Who cares?
Fair.
So, Sentinel Prime. What a fucking asshole.
What an asshole indeed.
And it took me by surprise because I was expecting him to be an antagonist, because I know Sentinel Prime usually is. But I forgot about that one Bayformers movie where he was just straight up a bad guy working with the Decepticons. So I didn't think he was gonna be that heinous. I was expecting more along the lines of Transformers Animated, where he's probably an asshole, but he's still not a straight up enemy. But here, nope, he betrayed all the Primes, got them all killed, cut a deal with the Quintessons, and has been working everybody to the extreme to keep up his end of the bargain so they don't invade. And in a particularly poignant, not to put too fine a point on it, statement on body autonomy, has been taking all the Transformers T-Cogs before they go online, so he's the reason they can't transform.
Yeah, that, it's funny, it's like, considering they're all robots and whatnot, I was not expecting for that reveal to happen and just go, that's fucking gross.
Yeah! No, it's really interesting how they still manage to keep that sense of, oh god, that's a total violation, in spite of the fact that they're all robots. That's really impressive.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
And it's part of why, as much as I would have liked a little more time for D16's turn into Megatron, I get it. Finding out that this guy who you've looked up to your entire life has not only sold out all your people, but personally took something away from you that would have let you be more than you currently are. Fuck.
And again, that's really like, I talked earlier about how the movie does a great job of letting moments that have more gravity really have their gravity. That was the big one when they find out the twist about Sentinel Prime, and I think it was Orion asked D16, no, dude, of course we know you want to stop, and he just goes, no, I want to kill him. And he says it in such a loud voice that there's like a small echo just in the general scene that happens. And it's not even a thing that, like, gets a small pause after that. He just goes into how much Sentinel Prime's betrayal is a personal wrong against him. And it's all something where it's the thing, like, I don't approve of killing, but I do understand. I completely understand where you're coming from and why you feel this way. So that was all just handled very well, and really does a great job, like you said, of making D16's plight significantly more sympathetic as well.
Yeah, I guess to the movie's credit, it does make sense that it would be abrupt because he had his basically entire world pulled out from under him.
Yeah.
All in the span of a very brief period of time.
Yes, for the span of like 40 minutes.
And that's after thinking he was banished to waste management for the rest of his life because he followed Orion into something that ended up getting them in trouble.
Right.
I also like how the Decepticons as a whole are set up in this, where they used to be the Cybertronian High Guard, and the reason why they end up falling in with Megatron is because they were betrayed by Sentinel, and therefore they don't trust Primes, they don't trust the system as it is, they want to see it torn down entirely because it's burned them so badly.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was something I appreciated about this, too, because, once again, really want to make clear, I am not big into Transformers lore overall, but from the bits I've seen, it always seems to be a thing of the Decepticons' ultimate goal is to just be the most powerful, take over the world, have control of all the Energon, whereas in this movie, it is a thing of, no, all the people who, like, identify with the Decepticons have been wrong in some capacity by the status quo. The big part of that being all the shit that Sentinel Prime has done. So to have that be their angle was, I personally thought that was a lot more interesting than just wanting to seize all power. Because it seemed like, while they definitely want to be the ones in charge, it's not because they just want to have the power. They have a, admittedly, extremely flawed desire to make sure that being deceived by people like Sentinel Prime doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it is interesting how the divide is much more Orion and the Autobots going, yes, we have been betrayed, and that's why we have to work together to do better for everybody's sake. Whereas with D16 and the Decepticons, it's turned into, I have been burned, and I am going to make sure nobody does that to me again.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like the bit where Orion, because he doesn't become Optimus Prime until near the very end, he's rallying the ex-Cybertronian High Guard and future Decepticons to help with the cause, and after Alita 1 punched Shockwave in the face, and Shockwave just goes, why should we follow you? Cut to her just making the punch fist in an empty hand gesture. We will follow you.
I don't want to deal with her again.
Why'd you gag our friend? He wouldn't stop talking, even when he was unconscious, especially when he was unconscious!
Yeah. The genuine amazement on her face when they say that, just like, you're fucking kidding, right?
As that illustrates, this movie has some pretty great dialogue lines, like, very early in, when Orion Pax and D16 are discussing the possibility of transforming, and D16 just goes, I'd transform into a shovel and beat you. I don't like how quick you answered that.
Also kind of the first hint of D16's soon-to-be extreme angst.
Yeah, no, it's a hint that it was always there.
Mm-hmm.
Just tempered by, I'm doing this thing because society told me to, and if I play my cards right, maybe I can rise above what I'm told to be and everything will be fine. And then after having that torn away from him, it's like, oh shit, never mind. Tear this whole fucking thing down.
To the ground. Burn it to the ground. Burn Osea to the ground.
I love, there's a point when his turn into Megatron and his betrayal of Orion is cemented, and when that happens, you can see there's just a little bit where his eyes dull, and it speaks volumes.
Yeah, because it really is like the last of his quote-unquote humanity just battling with, and ultimately losing to what he's become.
Actually, you know what? I don't think it's when he cements his betrayal of Orion. I think it's when Optimus just goes, "You betrayed Cybertron, you betrayed me." And then his eyes just kind of go a little bit dull to indicate, oh shit, did I? But then it comes back like, no, I'm the victim here, and I will not let you pity party this into making it not about me.
Right.
But God, that... So, to jump around a bit, during the final attack on Sentinel Prime's tower, Megatron has Sentinel Prime right where he wants him, and he's about to kill him, and Orion keeps trying to stop him, and then at one point he gets in the way as Megatron goes to blast him with his arm cannon, and ends up getting just a giant hole blown in his side. It was...
Yeah.
graphic, honestly.
It was very brutal.
For being a toy robot, graphic.
Yes.
And then he starts falling into this big pit, and Megatron, well, D16 at this point, goes to grab his hand and is holding onto his hand, and you see something click behind his brain of, sticking with Orion is what has gotten me into all of this, which isn't necessarily accurate, because of course Sentinel is part of the problem, but
yeah,
you can see it all just building up in his mind of, this is what got me here, this is why I will never achieve anything, this is what's holding me back, and he just condenses it all into one line of, I'm done saving you.
At which point his eyes have also gone from like being the orange color they've been the entire time to just pure dark side red.
And it was actually pretty fucking heartbreaking.
It was very heartbreaking, and again, very powerful. Very heavy, very tense moment. Especially backed by him letting go of Orion just to fall to his ultimate demise.
And he comes back, because Optimus Prime always comes back, but...
Oh, of course.
In the moment, that was actually painful.
Oh, quite.
And even then, you get shit like, the reason why he has the Decepticon symbol where he does is, originally it was a decal sticker of Megatronus Prime symbol that Orion gave to him, and then when they're confronting Sentinel Prime and he finds out about it, he actually just brands the fucking symbol on Megatron's chest.
Yeah.
That was intense.
It's funny because it's intense, but it's also the thing of, alright, now we know for sure you're gonna die. Was when Sentinel sees that, it's like, Megatronus Prime. He was the coolest out of all of them. That's why I took his core. And so they're like, alright, that you literally just confirmed your death. Thanks for that.
Yep. I genuinely am kind of blown away by how well this worked.
Well, in what regard?
Just the movie in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because, honestly, this is one of those things where, on paper, if you said, we're gonna make a movie about the Transformers, but it's about how the war on Cybertron got started and the falling out of Optimus and Megatron, my initial knee-jerk reaction is probably, who fucking cares?
Right.
And yet, this ended up being the one to get me most attached to the Transformers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, I don't know what else to add to that. This is just really good. The setup is really good. It's a thing of, I don't necessarily need a sequel to this movie, but I won't be upset if there is one, because, especially since it does kind of sort of set up a potential sequel between, like, the very end and the final post-credits scene in this, too. Of course, in the end, we also get the best joke in the movie, which helps as well, because it's like the very end of the movie is all very serious and whatnot, because after which Optimus is won, and he's establishing, like, the new order of Iacon, at which point he looks at Alita and says, like, I need your help doing this, and looks at Bumblebee as like, I need you by my side, and with Bumblebee reacting just, this is the best day of my life! I get to work for the government! Again, we're laughing our ass off, and I just take like granted, our theater did not have a lot of people in it, but I just kind of did a quick look. I'm like, alright guys, that was funny. Especially with how things are going right now, that joke was fucking funny. Fuck you. So, yeah, if they make another one of these with this same level of care and seriousness, but also genuine good humor and timing and whatnot, I'd be in for a good time. But I also don't need another one, and I will not be upset if they don't make another one either.
Yeah, I don't need Transformers 2, but I wouldn't turn my nose up at it.
Yeah. What would they call it?
Transformers 2.
Oh, that's...
I mean, it's literally called Transformers 1.
I know, but it's like... I've always had a problem with franchises in general who, when they've already established multiple things, they just have a new entry that's called Insert Title 1. The only one I've been able to forget in that aspect is Battlefield 1, but that's just because Battlefield 1 takes place during the First World War, and it's like, alright, that gets a pass. It's a very, very light pass, but it gets a pass nonetheless.
I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Go watch it. Go see it. It's good.
Go watch the damn movie.
And, before we go do that, just want to say, thanks for listening, everybody. Like I said earlier, if you could share the video around, really appreciated. Next week, it's another packed one, and considering I didn't really get a chance to see anything other than Transformers 1, oh boy. Because we got Megalopolis, which
we have to talk about.
Yeah, at this point, if I don't go see it, I've fucking failed.
Yeah, whether it be, like, peak cinema or an absolute train wreck.
I have to know.
Yeah.
There's also the Wild Robot. There's the Bagman.
Right.
And then there's a movie called Azrael, about a cult in the apocalypse trying to sacrifice someone, and I don't know, it sounds weird. It sounds really weird.
Okay.
I like the sound of this. But Megalopolis is, of course, the main priority, and if I happen to see anything else that weekend, phenomenal. Oh, right, I got plans on Saturday night, too. Oh, that really whittles it down. Damn it.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, it does. But anyways, regardless of what we end up megalopolising, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!